Okay, hello, התבוננות, Jewish psychology. Let's talk about relationship. How can we rectify really fast our relationship? Is it only an assignment that I have to do? What about my couple, my spouse? Is he has something to do about it? Can I help him motivate himself or change his view in order that he will be a part of this assignment to bring our relationship, our marriage to a better place? It's a huge question that repeats itself, and I want to target the most important thing to do in order to rectify our relationship. First of all, there are some assumptions that we have to make. The first one, the first premise is that every relationship has its ups and downs. Sometimes you feel close and you feel passion and you feel connected. And there are other times that you feel a bit far away, that you're disconnected from your spouse. And it's very important to remember whenever we are going a little bit backward, it's very important to remember not to cut the rope. What do I mean? Not to say things that I will regret later, not to do things that will jeopardize our relationship. Like to know that it's very obvious, it's very natural to have times that I have more passion, more connectivity. I want to talk more. I'm more connected to my wife. Why? Sometimes it's because the hardship of life. You have a lot of things to do. You are struggling economy and maintain and so many things in your life. It's like an everyday thing. It's very hard to stay in the same level. Another thing, why it is natural, because everything in life goes, in Hebrew it's called ratzo veshov, go backward and forward and backward. Even our breath, we're taking breath and it's like we are getting inside air and we are getting it out. It's like everything we're doing something, we are investing effort in something, and then we feel a little bit tired and we want to rest. It's very natural. The disconnection, the space that we're taking, the going backward, it's a very natural thing in relationship. But it's very important not, as we said before, not to tear apart the connection, not to go too much backward, because otherwise it will be so hard to get forward again, to be connected again. When you are losing when you are going too much backward, when you are cutting the rope, when you feel that you don't have any more passion here, there is nothing to talk about. I feel nothing. If you are angry, if you are upset, if you have all kind of issues in the relationship, it's even better than coldness. Coldness, it's the worst thing in relationships. Why? Because from coldness, you can get nothing out. From anger, there is a bit of warmness. From warmness, you can now start walking about why you are angry about and what is going on over here. So the first thing to remember is not to get too much back away when you feel that you have been, there was a peak, some kind of a peak, and now we are slipping down the hill. And remember, it's natural, but don't get too far. Stay alert. What does it mean to stay alert? It's very simple. Overcome your ego. Whenever you overcome your ego, that's when you are starting to disconnect, to get forward again, to be connected again to your spouse. When you have your ego, she said to me something. A minute before, I liked her so much. I loved her. I loved everything about her. I felt like we are meant to be together. And now, a few minutes later, she said to me something. She said something and I'm hearing what she said, and everything she said was against my ego. She said, "You're not good enough." I heard from what she said, "You're not good enough. You are not doing the thing in the right way." And I was so insulted. So now, what is anger? When I'm angry, I want to eliminate in a way the existence of the person that I'm angry about. When I'm sad, whose existence I want to eliminate? My own. I don't want to be, because what does it mean? I'm afraid. It's like a fear. I don't want to be in the present place because something hurted me. So the first thing that you have to do in order to overcome the gap between you, is to overcome ego. Without overcoming ego, nothing will succeed in bringing back the relationship. And it brings us to another assumption, very important one. Relationship is not about what I want from her, and it's not about what I want from the relationship. Whenever, think about it, whenever I have a will, a very strong will, a desire, I want something, this something is a little bit getting backward from me. It's like this thing it's not getting closer, the opposite. Why? Because when I want something, I want her, I want to love her, I want her to look in a certain way, I want her to act in a certain way. It's all about what I want. And about what I want doesn't affect her or the relationship. It's about me. It's not about us. It's not about the relationship. So it's very important to remember having relationship, working on the relationship, or rectifying our relationship as we started. This is the issue of our video, is not about what I want from her or what I want from the relationship or how I want the relationship to look like. No, this is not the thing. What's the most important thing to work on when I want to rectify my relationship? The most important thing is to work on myself, not on her. When I work on myself, I like a magnitude. Everyone wants to be with me. When I want something for others, they run away. When I work on myself, they want to be with me. What does it mean to work on myself? It's a very important issue. It's the most important issue in the relationship, and this is the core of the relationship, and what will help us to rectify the relationship very, very fast. When you sit with your spouse, with your friend, it doesn't matter, and you sit in front of a therapist, and you are starting, she brings what she wants from the relationship, and you brings what you want from the relationship, nothing will get out of it. Nothing. Why? Because it's all about what I want and what she wants. And maybe I will be able to overcome myself, to sublimate few of my tendencies, to understand her, but it will not be real. It will be like, okay, I understand. In order to stay together, I need to do that and that and that. But it's not like really being connected. Relationship is about being connected, about discovering unity. So what do I have to do? Sorry. What's the most important thing in order to rectify our relationship, but rectify it, correct it in a fast way? The most important thing is to work, as we said, on myself. What does it mean to work on myself? To work on the exact thing that bothers her. The exact thing that annoying my spouse in the relationship. What does it mean? Let's take a few examples and we'll understand it. We'll get it down to earth. When I'm judgmental and I'm full of criticism and I have comments about everything, the most important for me, in order to rectify the relationship, is not what I want from the relationship, is working about my criticism, working about my attitude. You want to criticize? Go do it at work, not at home. Go do it outside. Stay outside of the gas station and criticize all the world and politicians and whatever you like. Don't bring criticism to home. What criticism, what comments does? What it does, it closes you. It closes you, and now you are not open to a discussion, to a relationship, to unity. Whenever somebody is saying to me something, it doesn't matter if the comment is right. Even if the comment is right, precise, and it's all true, and even though when I get comments from someone, I close myself. There are so few people in the world that they are grown in the sense that they do not have ego, that they can accept any comment from everyone. Usually, any comment, even to my child, will close him and will say, okay, I heard you, now I don't want to see you anymore because you do not accept me in a way. So comment and criticism almost never works. You can ask for something, you can talk about something, but if you have tendency to criticism, and there are those that everything that they are doing, their criticism, that you just got home from work, and the only thing that you are doing is criticizing and judging your spouse, your children, judging everyone, and maybe you are right in everything that you are saying, but you cannot build a house, a home. You cannot build relationship on being right. You build relationship on being a part of, finding unity with, being compromising. So let's take another example. If you have a tendency to sadness or depression, we said clinic therapists usually do the deviation between a bit of sadness and depression. Why? It's very easy to understand why. Because if you are suffering from a bit of sadness, go drink coffee with your friend and that's it. But if you have a clinic depression, now go to therapy. But it's not real true, because the soul is one. And if you do not feed yourself with the right nutrition, with the right food that will elevate yourself, you'll start from suffering from sadness, and you will find yourself in depression after a month or two, a year or three. Doesn't matter. So it's very important to work on yourself, because it's very hard to maintain marriage, relationship with someone that is suffering from depression or from sadness. You could be sad here and there, but you cannot allow yourself be obsessive or in depression mode for a long period of time. Why? Because nobody will want to stay with you. It's very hard to stay with someone that is in depression. Why? Because when you're in depression, it's all about yourself. You're only thinking about yourself. You are talking only about yourself. And it's so hard to maintain relationship with someone that is so much busy with himself, thinking only about himself. And he cannot even see you. He cannot even see his spouse. He cannot even connect to him. He cannot even understand him. He cannot even ask him what happened to him and what he needs, because it's all about himself. So you have to work on your depression. It's like he won't find other thing in the relationship that you have in the relationship that you have to rectify, except for this depression. Of course, there are some more levels that we need to add to the relationship in order to make them stronger and higher. Things like to add pleasure to it, to find the pleasure. When I mean pleasure, I do not mean only mundane pleasure, but also spiritual and pleasure, to add more levels that will uplift our relationship and our discourse and put it in another level. Not only what I have to do and what you have to do and how can we do it together and how can I understand you. It's something more that will reunite us. Something like we have a mission, a life mission. Our house, our home that we are building a home that it's more than just a place that we have commitment to one each other. We have a place that we are living in, and it's like we are spreading light from this home. It's like it's more than a home, and we agree together that we are combining forces in order to reach our goals, not only our goals, our life mission, not only our mission, what is our destiny, our mutual destiny, and we are looking for it. So we are thinking from higher perspective, what really I want from this relationship, to what levels I want to take it. It's only about not being alone. It's only about physical relationship. Today you don't need marriage to physical relationship. Marriage is about something a lot higher. Let's continue a little bit with more example on how do I rectify my relationship and what do I have to do. And we said working about myself, and we said obsession, or if you are looking for pleasure outside of your relationship. Let's talk freely. You see someone that you think a model, that she or he is more beautiful than your wife, and it's obvious because you are growing up, and it will ever be like that. That's the whole point of looking at magazines or all kinds of sites. What's the idea? If you won't keep yourself and see your wife or your husband as the most beautiful and the best, the precious one for you, you will never be satisfied. But you have to work on yourself. She doesn't have to work on her. And I want to give a promise. The promise is whenever you are working on yourself, you will always see results. What do I mean by results? It's for sure she will change or he will change yourself. Your spouse, your boyfriend, your friend will change his attitude. It's like when somebody is working on himself, you can smell it. and when you can smell it, you know he's doing a change. He does not need to take a piece of paper and to write to everyone a sign, I'm working on yourself. No, when you are doing a work, when you are sublimate yourself, when you're thinking differently, when you stop being a victim, when you see the world differently, when you're smiling, when you're bringing happiness to the table, your spouse will see that. And when he will see that, at the beginning, he will try to see if it's serious enough. And if it won't be serious enough, he will back off because he's afraid to get hurt again because of the thing that destroyed everything in the relationship. But now when you'll feel that really that you are doing a work on yourself, you're changing your mindset, you're working on understanding yourself, now he will also work on himself. It's a promise. It's in Hebrew, it's called, the King Solomon said that, Kemaim apanim lapanim, like from the face that I'm showing to the water, that's the face that the water shows to me. That means whatever face I am showing to the world, that's the face that I'm getting for the world. And it's a right idea of King Solomon from whenever we are going. When you are smiling, people will smile to you backward. When you are close and cold, people will be cold to you. But when you are and it's more true in your relationship. When you are smiling and happy in your relationship and you are working on yourself, your spouse will work on himself. And if you have like problems, and the last maybe two last example, if you have burdens of making a living, you are afraid, how would you pay all the debts and mortgage and whatever, you cannot bring it home. It's like nobody can deal with this obsession, with these worries that you have. You're bringing worries to your home. You make everyone around you in a state of mind of a bit of anxiety and fear. What will happen? You cannot bring it home unless you want to break your house, you break your relationship. Because what you have to bring home is confidence and trust and belief and happiness. It's a different state of mind, and these are the only things that will rectify your relationship. And even if we'll go to an example that is connected to small things, like you are obsessed with cleaning. You know, there are those that cleaning all day long, they cannot handle when something is not in its place, and there are those that do not care about anything. And if you got married with someone that holds the opposite characteristics, it's a bit of a problem, because every day you are struggling, you are cleaning, and it's very hard for you to handle that. It does not do nothing. It doesn't even care. Maybe doing nothing. It doesn't even care. It don't care that it will be a little bit messed up. You have to compromise, and he have to compromise. Compromising, that means you have to work on your attitude without condition, without any condition, unconditionally. You have to work on yourself. When he will notice that you are working on yourself and you are accepting him with his natural tendencies and with these characteristics, he will change himself a bit. Step by step, he will change himself and he will work on himself. So this is the most important thing in rectifying any relationship, and it's true to our relationship with our, to relationship with a couple, but it's also true to relationship with our parents and children. If you will rectify, work on yourself, and put aside whatever you want from the relationship, whatever you want from your child, the chances that you will be able to get back again, get close again, get into the heart of the child, it's a lot higher. When somebody notices that you are becoming, when your child is noticing that you are becoming a better father, that means you work on yourself, that means you are being less egocentric and less thinking about yourself, you will get back close again. Because everyone is smelling when we are working on yourself. Okay, Itbonenu, Jewish Psychology, you're more than welcome to join we want you to help us grow our channel, so we're trying to upload more than once or twice a week. So you're more than then welcome to subscribe to the channel. And we are starting a WhatsApp group. So if you want to get notification, you are welcome also to be a part of the WhatsApp group. There is a link down in the video. See you next Idbonenut, next contemplation, Jewish contemplation.